Hi, Kristin Kaufman here again. Welcome. Delighted that you joined us today. As many of you all know, I'm the founder and CEO of a company by the name of Alignment. I'm what I refer to as a recovering corporate leader turned entrepreneur. The company that I've had now for over 16 years is focused on helping individuals, teams, groups, and organizations become aligned. Because I'm a huge believer that when we are aligned, we most certainly are at our most powerful. So I come on here every couple of days to offer perspectives primarily on topics that my clients have asked me to focus on. So I'm actually starting a series today of short videos relative to how we can market ourselves better, because many of my clients are really wanting to stand out, whether they are entrepreneurs, they are small business owners, or they are senior level or up and coming senior level executives in a corporation. So I'm going to cover 6 tips, one every video. So today we're going to just focus on one of those 6 tips on how we can better market ourselves so that we can indeed stand out. So the first tip that I'm going to talk about is actually what I'm going to call low-hanging fruit that will help you distinguish yourself among many others, whether they be in your field or whether they be in your company or your organization. So the first tip is, I'm a huge believer that being current is the new currency. And that is from every perspective, because many of us have been in the workforce for a long time. And many of my clients are concerned that they're going to be replaced by someone who is just coming out of school or someone who has newer skills or more up-to-date skills. Well, that is not age dependent. So being current is the new currency. And that means staying up to date on technology, up to date on the industry trends of the industry that you're a part of, understanding how to optimize social media, understanding how to utilize all of the different technologies to our greatest advantage. All of that is staying current. And I know that's a challenge, especially if you're an entrepreneur or a small business, because you're having to do that on your own. Typically, you're not going to have a built-in corporate learning and development department to help you stay current. But my coaching is, we have to make that a priority, because the moment that we are no longer current, we will be perceived as not being relevant. And when you're not relevant, then frankly, game over, especially in whatever field you are playing. So that is the first thing, to stay current in every aspect of your life, your industry, your career, the technology, etc. Okay, that's the first thing. The second way that you can stand out is to be really super prepared. And I know that that is so basic, but what I'm going to share with you is, I'm amazed when I'm coaching many of my clients, they have not prepared. In that they've not researched the people that they're going to be meeting with. They haven't done backgrounds on a new client or a new donor, or even a new prospective constituent that will be supporting their initiative, whether it be in corporate, whether it be in a small business, or whether it be in a nonprofit. So preparing, and it's so great now, because it's relatively easy to get online and do Google searches on people. You can find out what their interests are. You can find out where they went to school. You can find out if you have common connections on LinkedIn. You can find out where they previously worked, how they contribute, what their nonprofit interests are. Being prepared so that you have a baseline to have a conversation with someone, not in a weird, like stalky way, but just so that you've been respectful enough to learn more about them, so that when you meet with them, I mean, everybody wants to feel like they've been seen, and that they've been, that people have taken the time to prepare for the meeting. So doing that will absolutely distinguish yourself from a human perspective. The second piece of the preparation is getting current on the industry or the competitors that your prospect might be facing. So for example, if I'm going to meet with somebody in a technology company, I'm going to research the vertical that technology company is addressing. I'm going to research the competitors that are also in that field. I'm going to research what they perceive their competitive differentiation to be, so that when I meet with them, I can actually have a very legitimate and well-grounded conversation with them. Again, that little bit, it's amazing how that will distinguish you, because I'm still somewhat amazed at how many people don't take the time to get prepared before a meeting, for a presentation, even for a dinner with a prospective client. Okay, the third way to distinguish yourself: be a subject matter expert on something. On something. It doesn't mean that you have to be the subject matter expert on everything, but find one thing that you are the go-to person, you are the subject matter expert on that. For example, I have a client who, that person, his subject matter expertise is he's a rainmaker. He is a rainmaker. He knows how to create a need that somebody wants when that person didn't know that they wanted it or that they needed it. So that is an area that he is well honed in. He is a subject matter expert in it. He is the go-to person when somebody is needing to make a sale, create a need, etc. I have another client who the subject matter expertise is in cybersecurity. And that is her focus. That is her vertical. She knows pretty much anything she needs to know about cybersecurity. So when people, and by the way, that's not her primary field, but it is a field in the overarching technology field that she's in. So she's distinguished herself because she's the go-to person in the cybersecurity space relative to that technology company. So again, these are just examples. It can be a horizontal subject matter expertise, like being a rainmaker, or it can be vertical, meaning a skill set, like a knowledge about a product or a vertical application of a product, etc. So think about where you are drawn, where you feel like you are, you have maybe a leg up just intuitively and naturally, and make that your area to do a deep dive on to become the subject matter expert. It doesn't matter what it is. Obviously, you'd like for it to be something that's in demand that people need, but just be cognizant that a homogeneous offering, being an all-around good athlete, will not distinguish you. How you need to distinguish yourself is being the best in the long jump, being the best at the 400 hurdles, being the best at platform diving, to use the Olympics as an example. So that's the third way. Find an area that you can deep dive on to become the subject matter expert. Okay, the fourth point I'll make: when we're on social media, and I have a lot of clients who are trying to distinguish themselves on social media, the number one way to separate yourself from the pack is to offer value to your followers. And again, that'll be different for everybody because everybody's followers are different. But try to figure out your ideal avatar, to use the marketing term, your ideal follower, whether this be on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, whatever. Your value, the content that you offer your followers, is what will absolutely distinguish yourself. And you can get pretty smart on that. You know what your followers are needing and wanting, or you can just ask them what they need and want and give it to them. Give it to them in spades, and do so in a way that they need and want to receive that information. And the last point that I'll just close out with, relative to how you can stand out and what are some low-hanging fruit things that you can do, because all of this is pretty basic. What I will say to you in closing is, doing your job, whatever your job is, whether it be in corporate, whether it be in a small business, or whether it be as an entrepreneur, that is just table stakes. That is just the ticket to entry. And frankly, doing your job is just average. We have to up the game. We have to distinguish ourselves by doing many of the things that I'm going to share with you over the next 6 videos. This is the first of 6, to help you really distinguish yourself so that you can stand out in whatever industry or business or nonprofit environment that you find yourself contributing in. So with that, hopefully this is giving you some food for thought. None of this is rocket science. All of it is real. All of it is applicable, and all of it does work. Again, my name is Kristin Kaufman. I'm in the business of helping people become aligned so that they can be at their most powerful and they can become the best leader and contributor in whatever space they're playing in as they can. I hope this has been a benefit. If it has, please don't hesitate to follow me on LinkedIn, of course, but on YouTube. I put these videos out every couple of days to have you have access to them whenever you need them. And I would love to hear from you on topics that might be of benefit to you that you'd like for me to cover. And I certainly would welcome your feedback. With that, make it a great day, and I'll see you right back here in a couple of days.